Thank you so much for showing up for our live big announcement with Cemetery Dance, Kevin Lucia. Hi, Kevin.
Nope.
And author Jonathan Janz. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Sadie.
Thanks,
So
Kevin.
both of these awesome guys are also school teachers. So I feel incredibly
Hello.
honored that they're here and functional after a long day of wrangling our youth. Jonathan, do you also teach English functional
I
after a long
do. I
day
do also teach
of
English. Let me mute
wrangling
my
our
thing
youth?
really.
Oh, somebody has their YouTube open.
Uh, do I? I don't think I do.
Is it me? Wait, Jonathan, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm the one who had it on, I think. Yeah,
All of a sudden, I heard myself talking to myself.
I did too. And I thought I thought we were entering the multiverse or something. I was a little bit freaked out, and it was my fault.
Experiencing technical difficulties. Um, but yeah, you teach you teach a variety of classes, right? You're a
I
coach
do.
too.
Yeah, I teach English and creative writing to junior high kids, and then I teach advanced creative writing and film lit to high school kids.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, we did not have a film lit class in high school, and I would have tried to take that all 4 years.
right? I mean,
Yes,
what's not to love? It's such an
yes.
amazing subject. I can't believe we have it. I'm just thankful to teach it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was telling Kevin that I loved my English teacher in high school because I got to read The Great Gatsby and The Lord of the Flies. We did a whole Steinbeck thing and I got to read Of Mice and Men and then I like we watched the movie and I was so broken that he wrote me out for the rest of the day and I just hung out as a TA in his class.
That's amazing. Which version
Yeah.
did you watch? The Gary Sinise, John Malkovich version?
Yes.
That's the version I used to show when I taught that book. It's one of my favorite books, and that
Oh
movie.
my God, that movie killed me.
Yes, it's so
Yes,
good, so
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for showing up. I see you all in the chat. Let me just highlight some of our fan favorites here.
That's awesome.
And look at Blue. Hi, Blue.
Blue.
So this is super cool.
Oh my.
They're obviously here for the big announcement. I'm gonna go ahead and let Kevin do that.
Sure. A little bit of preamble, a backstory. I'm really excited to make this announcement because John was one of the first authors that I read. I think going all the way back to the Sorrows. That back when Sam Hain, when I was still kind of cutting my teeth, as a writer. And I've read several of his, the Sorrows, House of Skin, so many of those wonderful novels. So I was really, really excited when after we published, the Dismembered, which is a wonderful novella that everyone really loved it, really well received.
Thank
So
you.
John approached me, behind the scenes. We were chatting back and forth about something that he'd like to do. So we kind of put the details together, got everything settled, and I'm very pleased to announce that in October we'll be re-releasing Children of Darkness. And then in 2024, we'll be releasing the brand new sequel to Children of Darkness 2, brand new through Cemetery Dance. And it was a pleasure working with John, with the Dismembered. And like you said, for me, it kind of comes for full circle too. 10 years ago, when I was reading The Sorrows, I never imagined that I would be at a publisher doing one of John's new releases. So I'm thrilled.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so much.
I am thrilled too. Jonathan, are you so excited?
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. So here is the original. This is what Matthew Revert came up with, and I just, Sadie, you've got some of the background here. You and I have talked quite a bit over the years, but it's a book that's really dear to me. It's a book that's really important to me, and I wrote a sequel for it, and just I think you're the first the first editor to see it, I believe, Kevin, because I just like with this one, it was very specific, right? It was like it's a novel that went out of print because the publisher went under, and that's kind of I mean, that unfortunately that's not unique,
Right.
but
Yeah.
unfortunately, but that made it a little unique in itself, and that I felt like it was a book that would definitely continue to gain readership if it were available, but it wasn't available there for a while. And then when I wrote the sequel, I was really excited about the sequel, and I'm very proud of it. But I didn't just want to just spit it out into the world unceremoniously. I didn't want to. I guess this sounds so cheesy and self-serving, but I wanted to do it justice. I just wanted it to get treated the way I felt like it deserved, both the original and then the sequel. And so, Kevin, after The Dismembered went so well, that novella that you all published in November of 22, you said you spoke well, like positively about it. And I was thrilled with how it was received, the job you did with it, the support, the cemetery dance cave. So I was thrilled with every facet of it. And I think that's when we started talking about Children of the Dark. Just because I thought you all did such a great job. So, and then of course you were amenable to it, which made me very happy. And you've been extremely, positive and supportive throughout this process. And there were a lot of like weird conditions I had too, Sadie, about the whole series. And, I just I knew a lot of publishers would be disqualified because of the conditions I had. And it had to be the exact right fit, which is why I waited until this fit kind of presented itself. So I'll shut up. Go ahead.
No, I mean, rightly so, because I mean, when I first heard of this book, so this came out through Sinister Grin, I want to say,
Yes.
And Nightworms was just starting to do like this review platform that we wanted to do in tandem with our subscription service, was just to start reading more indie horror. And you were one of the first authors that I reached out to see if we could do review copies and just kind of put those out on Bookstagram. And then we did like a whole big group post for our blog and like shared it all over social media. We took tons of pictures of this cool cover. It ticks all of the boxes for me personally in horror because it has like coming of age elements. I always include it in lists with like it and Robert McCammon's Boy's Life. I always include it with all of the summer books, like when people are looking for summer books, because there's like this scene that I always remember where one of the characters is like in the lake with a girl. That's this book, right? I don't want to confuse it with Exorcist
No, that's
Fall.
right.
That's another book I read right afterwards. But yeah, so there's just this like wholesome kind of summer vibe going on with the coming of age elements. And everyone loved it. So all the Nightworms reviewers like loved it. And then I'm pretty sure we became the Janz fans. So if you if you look at the hashtag on Bookstagram and Twitter, Janz fans, like with the Z's, that's us.
Totally remember that. Yes. Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, it also made like book lists, top 10. It's been featured. Becky Spratford featured it on her blog for like the top 20 horror for libraries, which is great because I wanted to recommend this all the time. But with it being out of print, I got so tired of people being like, where did you get that book?
Right. That puts you in a bad position because it's like, oh, here's this book you should read, but you can't. Right. It's like, what? That, then people are going to come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were always like the price gougers. You could find it on like eBay or Amazon. Some like random Amazon seller like has it for $60 or something, which I mean, it is a really cool cover, but now you'll be able to get it on ebook and you'll be able to get it in paperback. When did you say it was coming out? October, so like Halloween TBR?
Yeah.
In fact, I'll probably start putting it into production, in the next couple days or so, getting it out to proofreaders, layouts. I'll email Matthew Revert because I try to get things going for every book at least 4 or 5 months ahead of time if I can. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I mean, add me to the list. I want to have make sure I have this edition and then also the sequel. Like, I'll definitely promote the hell out of that. That's exciting for people who have read this and it's part of our like horror canon. Is there
Right.
like anything you can tell us a little bit about the second one?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you all said, October is going to be the re-release of the original, and it'll be the only way that it's available now is an audiobook. So that audiobook will continue to be out there, but it'll be ebook and paperback as well through Cemetery Dance, which is super exciting. And
Yeah.
then the sequel is going to, and thank you, by the way, for all that you just said about, like, because you really, like, you have been not just of Children of the Dark, but of me. You've been so supportive, and I know you support a lot of people. I mean, you're somebody who lifts a lot of people up, but just on a very personal note, I am always so just blown away and appreciative of all that you've done, and all that you
Well, it's
continue to
my
do.
pleasure. I mean,
Yeah.
endless hours of horror entertainment you've given me. So,
Well, I think I benefit more, but I appreciate that. Yeah, the sequel is going to come out in February of 24, and it is called Children of the Dark 2: The Night Flyers. And it picks up exactly where the so obviously I don't want to give, and I know you're not asking for spoilers. I'm saying this mainly to myself. You ever see the episode of The Office where Jim is at the wedding dinner and they're afraid Michael is going to like reveal something about
yes.
Pam, and Jim
Yeah.
ends up revealing it? I'm Jim right now. I don't want to because at the
Yeah.
outset of this, I made every mistake possible. I like muted myself on accident, and I had YouTube playing, and I was late to get in there because I lost the link, and then it said I had to download Chrome. So I've already screwed up in every way imaginable. I'm just trying not to screw up this way and give away the end of the
You're
book.
here. You're here. That's all that
I'm here.
matters.
I'm here, so that part's good. Okay, so without giving away Children of the Dark, there's a scene, like kind of an epilogue kind of scene at the end of Children of the Dark.
Yeah.
That is exactly where the second one starts, like right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it is so that setting that's established in the end of the first book is the setting at the beginning of the second one. And Will, the main character, and you and I've talked about this, Sadie, a bit, that he's a lot like I was, I think, as a 15-year-old boy. Now he's 16, at the beginning of the second book. And he goes through a lot of stuff in the first book. Like
Yeah.
he goes he gets put through it. And the same thing is going to be true of the second one. He is there's, again, without spoiling, he's lost a lot of people at the end of the first book. And whoever remains alive, he's not with. And so that also is really rough. So there's a lot of emotional trauma with him. And obviously there's going to be physical trauma too in the second book. I feel like so Children of the Dark obviously is the one that Children of the Dark 2 springs off of. But for people who have read Savage Species, which is another book kind of in that mythos,
Yeah.
there's some connections to that book too that tie into Children of the Dark 2. You don't have to have read it. It's
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah, it's a very different book than Children of the Dark. Savage
Right.
Species is really different, like really different.
Right.
But it's in the same area of Indiana. It's like some of the same stuff that's involved. So if any of you have read that or want to read that beforehand, that won't hurt. But you don't have to do that before you read either Children of the Dark or Children of the Dark 2. It's just that they're semi-related.
That's really good to know. I'm surprised you haven't given me Children of the Dark 2 to read yet.
I know. You've read Marla, I know,
Uh-huh.
and gave me great thoughts on that. And I've given you
Halloween Gods.
Halloween Gods, that's right. But I've not given you Children of the Dark 2. Well, we're going to have to amend that one way or the other. We're going to have to amend that.
Yeah. I'm officially putting in my request. So,
All right. That's awesome.
did you see this comment from your former student? Wait, it's this one.
Oh, Monica! Monica's the greatest. She is
So
awesome.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody wants you to do the Michael dance. Oh, it's Tim.
Tim Levin. Hello, Tim. Well, I can't. The only part I remember is I remember when he does this. Remember when he does. Right? Isn't that what he does? He starts snapping. He starts doing. I can't do the worm. I'll hurt myself.
Oh
And
my God.
that's as much of the Michael dance as I remember and that I can actually try to replicate.
And the angle of the camera made you look like a giant.
I love that. That's on a Booze Cruise. If that's the same one Tim is talking about, if that's right, the Booze Cruise episode, I love that dance. I rewind that with my kids and I watch that scene over. And what's great is you can watch people in the background, the other actors, like breaking character and laughing.
Oh my God.
So funny.
You love it.
Oh, it wasn't so funny when I did it, but it's funny when Steve Carell does it.
Elizabeth is here. She's a longtime Janz fan. Blue wants an early copy, just so you guys know.
You know who to talk to, Blue.
I'll have to reread my Scares That Care copy before the second one is released. Yeah, do that.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And whenever I have another piece of information I should share, should I do it now, Sadie, or wait?
He is a giant. He's like 6 something. I got to meet you at Merrimack.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, we're both just as tall as we said we were.
Yes, you are as tall as you said you were too, right?
Yeah, I am
what is your height,
tall.
Sadie? How tall are you?
6 feet.
6 feet? Yeah, you are tall, right? Yeah. And that's in an amazing way. It's awesome. But you're very tall. Yeah. Just like you said you were online.
There's a lot of tall horror authors. There's like Todd Kiesling, there's Kevin, Josh Mallerman's tall.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd have a good basketball team.
I'd say so too.
King, I think King is pretty tall. He's kind of a minor horror writer, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Who's that
few people have heard of him.
Yeah, he's gonna make it one of these days. I think he might be taller than all of us. Isn't he like 6'5"? I think
he's very tall. Well, Joe Hill's pretty tall too, though.
Is he really?
Yes.
Joe Hill.
Yes, I met him. He is tall.
He's very tall.
Okay, you know who else is? While we're on tall, Wrath James White.
Oh, I haven't met him, but yeah.
If we have time, I have a wonderful story about the first time I met Wrath, but we'll save that for later.
I do want to hear Jonathan's other announcement. Also, I want to know if you're going to be at Merrimack again.
That's so funny. I got an email today.
I did too.
Did you really? Okay. Yes. Yeah. I am going to try very hard because Merrimack was amazing. The only regret I had, honestly, was that we barely got to interact. I met you and your husband, and it was like, okay, we're both busy, right?
Right. It's like one day, so everything has to happen in the one day. So,
okay. So if I go and if you go, we have to resolve to like at least try to spend more time together because I
agree. Definitely. Yeah, because it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cover here is by, and I don't know, Kevin. I asked, the Clash people, Christoph and Lisa. I asked Christoph, and he said, I think he said Matthew Revert, I think, because it's one of those names that I always, like, I've been saying it for years, but I don't know if that's the right or if it's
right.
It's kind of French.
What is it?
Revere.
Revere? Okay, so we've now pronounced it 3 different ways. You're probably correct, actually. Okay. So Sadie probably has it right. So Matthew, I'm gonna stick with that because that's what I know.
If I'm wrong,
he's an Australian, right? Isn't he from Australia? He's an Australian cover artist or artist in general. He just like killed it with this. He killed it with the Dismembered. I just love him so much. I love his work so much. And I told you that there are some like weird, like demands is the wrong word, but some weird stipulations I had for this. And and Kevin will tell you, I'm like, Matthew has to be the one to do the cover of like this in the sequel, just because like I just feel like cover artists are often like, not by anybody here, of course. You all know the importance of a cover artist, but I just feel like cover artists are just kind of overlooked. Like they have so much to do with the success of a book. They're so important and they're so talented. Like they're the first look people have at our books, right? I don't think this book would have half the readership it has without Matthew. And so when I approached Kevin, there was a long list, as he'll attest. That was one of the first ones, is like, Matthew just has to be the one to do it. And right away that disqualified most editors and publishers just because like Kevin and I have a comfort level. We've known each other for a while. I just feel like I can. I mean, and he could say no. He could tell me to go, go to hell if he wanted to. But like I just felt comfortable enough with him to say that to him, and he understood why it was important to me, and he totally got it, and he was like very quick to agree, which made me so happy. Another thing, and just a little aside, the audiobook isn't associated with Cemetery Dance, but there'll be an audiobook also of Children of the Dark 2 done by Matt Godfrey. And that was another thing. It's like I wanted to do my own thing with the audio. And again, Kevin, he's very like maybe because you're a writer, but you're not somebody
in a
who,
way,
like,
yeah.
You don't try to like take this right and fight me.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're whatever. Yeah, you still do your job, obviously, but you're not somebody who's going to try to take every right forever in perpetuity and say, oh, I need movie rights and I need that right and whatever. And I wanted to retain audio for Children of the Dark 2, and Kevin was like, that's reasonable. Fine, we'll go ahead that way. So anyway, I'm so excited that Matthew is going to be doing these covers. He's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That I love his work. If there's any authors who are watching, it's totally true that like your cover, as Tim said, could make or break you. He just said it right here. A good cover is really important, and Matthew's actually really affordable. I've worked with him multiple times. I think he's super affordable, and I think it's worth the investment of having good cover art, especially in these times of like having a lot of AI dialogue. I think it's really important to hire a human to do cover art. So there's some other like things here. Courtney can attest that you are tall because she met you at the Scholastic Book Fair in Indiana.
Speaking of amazing events, that's an amazing event, by the way. Joshua Hull, the screenwriter of Glorious, put that on. Amazing event. So awesome. I think they're going to do it again. So all you writers, migrate to Indiana for that one event. Indiana's not necessarily the best place to be, but that day it is.
I definitely want to check that one out too.
Yes.
Blue is representing the last hall. Dawn, we got you covered. She got here at 3:20, so we'll tell you that Cemetery Dance is re-releasing Children of the Dark, which if you haven't seen it, it's this book, but it's being re-released by Cemetery Dance, and it's going to come in October, and there's going to be a sequel. I didn't hear when the sequel was. Was it December?
February. Yeah.
Oh, February. Okay.
And it's called The Night Flyers. Yeah. The Children of the Dark 2, The Night Flyers in February.
Very cool. Kevin, can you let us know? Oh, that's so cute. Hi, Faye.
Faye, amazing writer right there, folks.
Yes.
Faye, read A Killing Fire, A Killing Rain. Faye is amazing. One of the best writers I've discovered in the past half decade or decade. Faye's amazing.
Yeah, and you two share the same publishing house, right? You guys were both Flame Tree at the same time releasing things.
Yeah, a lot of my stuff is from Flame Tree, and Faye's had at least 2 from Flame Tree now. Yeah.
I have to ask Faye a question really quick. Like, Faye, is your series going to be a trilogy? Or your book 1 and book 2? Like, yes, is it? Oh, okay. Sorry, side trail.
Bonus announcement.
Yeah, bonus announcement. Yay. Oh, it's 4 books. Oh, shit. Faye.
Wow.
Quadrilogy.
That's awesome. And 2 more books coming. Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. Kevin, is there like a way that reviewers and fans can stay like up to date on everything Cemetery Dance is doing?
Yeah, there's 2 places. I have both a Facebook profile and a Twitter profile. The Twitter profile is Cemetery Dance ebook, and the Facebook profile I think is Cemetery Dance ebook and paperback as well. And I try to post on those things as much as I possibly can. So
because I've noticed you do have a newsletter though too, don't you?
Yes, so the newsletter is if you buy anything from Cemetery Dance, you can automatically sign up for the newsletter, and that's how we send out notices about releases and when things drop and special sales and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so definitely either pick up something at Cemetery Dance so you get added to the newsletter, or just visit the website and scroll through and find where you can sign up for that. It's one of my favorite newsletters. And with today's Substack migration, because so many authors are migrating from Twitter to Substack, highly recommend looking up your favorite author on Substack and signing up for that. Those are newsletters that I mean, they don't just come out like monthly. I've seen authors doing stuff like every day. I've seen people doing like bi-weekly. So yeah, head over to Substack and start looking for your favorite people over there. I don't know if Cemetery Dance or Jonathan Janz is over there, but you should be.
I should be. I need to be. Maybe this summer will be the time. Yeah.
Cemetery Dance isn't yet, but it bears an investigation.
Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. That's all I need to say. I just saw them roll out like another thing saying that within threads of comments and shit, like people can just automatically DM you right off of a comment. Which I mean, right now we can protect our privacy a little bit by if people are following us, it opens up our DMs, but now it's just like whoever the hell, and it's just going to be a block and mute party forever. So I mean, whatever. You don't need to get on the tangent, but
I didn't know that was happening. Holy smoke. That's different.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Let's see here. I have to put my glasses on because I'm old. Yeah, definitely check out Faye Snowden's books. Awesome news, book 2 as well. Can Jonathan do a happy dance again? Pretty please. Go.
That was you saw the totality of my moves. That's all I've got right there.
It's the end of the day, right?
The 2 Michael Scott ridiculous moves.
Oh God. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or is that all she wrote?
I think that's pretty much all she wrote. I'm just really thrilled about this. I just think it's going to be exciting. You know, I want to thank Kevin just for being so awesome and flexible when it came to this, just because it was weird. It was just a weird situation. It was different than any other situation I've ever dealt with, and he made it as easy as possible. Becky Spratford, you mentioned Becky. Becky's been so supportive of Children of the Dark, so I want to thank Becky. And again, I know I thanked you, but I want to thank you again, Sadie, not just for the past support and then for having us on tonight. This is fairly last minute. I mean, it wasn't like months in the making. Like you were I just appreciate you being willing to talk to us tonight. So
yeah.
Awesome.
I wouldn't miss it. If I wasn't hosting it, I'd be over here in the chat. So yeah. So we just want to thank everybody for showing up and showing their support. Obviously, this will be ready for playback later. You guys can share it on your social media. It'll be immediately ready for that. And we're really excited for more Children of the Dark and for a ton more readers to have access to this incredible coming of age horror book with lots of chills and thrills.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to end the broadcast, but you guys can just stay put for just a quick second. And good night.
Good night.